Hello P7s, I hope you have been practicing your strumming hard because today I am going to tell you about the next thing. I'm going to teach you 5 chords in this video. 5, that's a lot to learn for the first time. Some of them are easy and some of them are really hard and it'll take some practice. But I'm also going to show you how you write down a chord. So if you had to look up a chord on the internet, you would be able to look at how it's written down and understand how to actually play that yourself on the ukulele. So hopefully you've remembered the down strums and the up strums from last time, and the fact that you use your index finger and you hit with your fingernail on the way down and the pad of your finger on the way up, and it's that kind of point to yourself, point to the ground and back again action that we talked about. This week, chords really is all about getting your left hand fingers moving in complicated combinations to press down in the right places to make the right chord come out when you strum. So the first 2 chords we're going to learn are C, which uses one finger, and A minor, which also uses one finger. Now C uses your ring finger, right? That's what that sounds like. A minor uses a middle finger instead, presses down on the string on the other end in the second space up. You hear the difference already? So one sounds like this is C. A minor sounds different. Okay, and already that's the sound of 2 different chords. So how do you play that? First thing that's very important to know is that we're going to talk about which string you're going to be pressing down on, so we need to know which string is which. So each string is set to a different note. Is the note G, then C, then E, then the last one you come to when you're strumming, A. And some people remember that go crazy every afternoon. G, C, E, A. And then these spaces that I'm talking about, that tell you exactly how far up the string that you press down, right? That are separated by these little metal bars, they're called frets. So if I was to point to the first fret, it would be that one, right? The first one from the top. 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 8th, 12th, right? Just like that. So I'll be using that. I'll be saying E string, 2nd fret, and you'll need to know that the E string is the 3rd one along from where you're strumming, and then you'll need to count up 1, 2 and press down with whatever finger I tell you to press. So let's look at how that's written down. Well, you can see the top of the ukulele here, and that's where you're going to be pressing down for most chords. And the way that we write down a chord is quite simply just by drawing a little diagram. So we draw a double line for the very top. Then we draw a line for each of the strings. And then we'll mark out the little metal bars that mark out where the frets are. So that we have like a little grid that's supposed to be like a map of the top of the ukulele. And then on that, we can mark out where a finger needs to be pressing down. So for C, as I've mentioned already, your ring finger needs to be pressing down on the A string on the 3rd fret, and that's where that is. So to play a C, there you go, that's what it should look like, right? Your other fingers can just be hovering out of the way, but it's the ring finger that's pressing straight down on that spot that's marked out, and then you can have a practice at that. To do A minor, then it's all the same principle. It's the same little map of the top of the ukulele, double line at the top, then the metal bar of the frets is marked out and 4 lines for the strings, and then a little dot where you have to press down. I find it's easiest to play A minor with your middle finger, and that is on the G string on the 2nd fret up, and there it is. That's what it looks like, straight down. Again, your other finger's just hovering around the place. pressing down hard on it. And you can have a little bit of practice at that. Right? Now, very quickly, when you're playing a song, you'll discover that actually learning the chords is okay, but changing in between the chords in time for what the song needs is the bit that's a real challenge. So let's do a little exercise for that now. What I'm going to do is we're going to start with a C, and then we're going to play an A minor, and then we're going to go back to a C, and then back to an A minor, back and forth like that, right? And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 each time, and I want you to play one down strum on the chord when you get to it, and then I'll count 2, 3, 4, and then by that time you need to have changed to the next chord, and then play one down strum on that, and then I'll count 2, 3, 4, and then back to the other one. Okay, so we'll start on C, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, like that. Okay, here we go. So I'm ready with a C in position, my ring finger is ready to go, but my middle finger's not too far away because it knows A minor is coming up next. Okay, let's try it. Here we go. After 4, 1, 2, 3, and C, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, back to C, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, A minor, back to C, and A minor, back to C, and A minor, 2, 3, 4. Now see if you can do 2 down strums each time. Ready? C. Change to A minor. Back to C. Change A minor. Back to C. A minor. C. A minor. C. This time, see if you can do 3. Down, up, down. Ready? C. A minor. C. A minor. C. A minor. C. A minor. Now, you can see that gets harder and harder, doesn't it, if you leave a smaller and smaller gap to allow your fingers to find their way to where they need to be for the next chord. The next chord we're going to do is F, and the reason why we're going to do that next is because it's another step harder in that you need to be pressing down 2 fingers to play F in 2 different places. So it's a little bit like A minor in that your middle finger goes on the G string in the 2nd fret and it stays there, so that's exactly where it's been for A minor, but added to that is on the 1st fret of the E string, right? So there's a string with no fingers on in between. The E string, 1st fret, and that is most comfortable with your index finger, right? So it should look a bit like that, alright? 2 fingers on it. So F sounds like that. Okay, so once you've had a little practice at F, let's try our little exercise again, but this time C, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll go back and do that pattern all over again. So first of all, 1 down strum on the beat, okay, after 4. Starting with C, remember, my finger's all ready to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, C, A minor next, F next, back to C, C, 2, 3, A minor, 2, 3, F, back to C, okay, then A minor, then back to F, then back to C, A minor, F, C, A minor, F, back to C. Now this time round, see if you can do 2 down strums like we did before. Here comes C, 3, 4, 1, A minor, next, back to C. Good. Let's just try that once more with 3 strums each time. Down, up, down. 1, 2. Last time. That's 3 chords, right? So already there's lots of different combinations. These fingers might be moving in ways that they're not used to yet. So you'll know that that's really where the practice has to go. So there are, however, 2 more chords that we really would like to do if we're going to play some good songs. And those 2 chords are D and G, right? And what's difficult about those is that they need you to press down 3 fingers at the same time. Okay, so that's quite tricky. The first one I'm going to show you is D. Your middle finger needs to go in the same place where it's been for 2 chords now, right? That's A minor and F. So it goes in exactly the same place as those 2, which is on the G string on the 2nd fret. Then your index finger squishes in beside it on the next string, which is the C string, which we haven't really touched yet, on the 2nd fret also. Right, so it's right next to it, right alongside it, and then tucked in behind is your ring finger that's going to be on the E string on the 2nd fret. So you'll see that those 3 fingers have got to be squished in, all in between those 2 metal bars in the that mark out the 2nd fret. Okay, and that sounds like this. Okay, so take a little bit of practice time to get used to that. Right, that's D, and then G is the next one, so that they kind of are in a little triangle shape. And those are your chords. So, just to recap, C, a nice easy one, ring finger, 3rd fret at the A string on the end. A minor, another easy 1 finger one. Middle finger, G string, so the one near your face, 2nd fret, easy. To get from that to F, you keep that finger in the same spot and you add your index finger on the E string in the 1st fret. Okay, so far C, A minor, F. Then come the really tricky ones. To get from F to D, you keep your middle finger in the same place. Index finger jumps a string and squishes up into the 2nd fret, right next to it, right next to your middle finger. And then your ring finger adds on right next to that, so that the 3 fingers are all in a line on the 2nd fret on the first 3 strings that your down strum hits. And that's a D. Then to get to G, then your ring finger needs to move up so that it's in the 3rd fret of the E string. Index finger on the C string, 2nd fret. Middle finger on the A string at the end, 2nd fret also. Right? That's your G. So, those 5 chords will allow you to play, I think, some good Christmas songs.